Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, the Hall of Famer. Big game, James Worthy. We've got Allie Clifton. We got Trudell and Brez working the post game. Can't really sugarcoat it. Embarrassing loss for the Lakers, losing huge leads, not putting a Warriors team away when you had ample opportunities. And you can get away with that some nights, but it's going to come bite you many times in the NBA, and it did tonight, James.
Yeah, it bit them tonight. They went against a team that, was absent. Klay Thompson, a young team, a scrappy team. I was very impressed with what Steve Kerr has done with this team. He got them motivated to play. But yeah, the Lakers, when you have a chance to put it away and you don't, and I think what's happened over this span of wins, they've been used to playing a little bit slow and then turning it on, and they've taken care of business. But tonight, it just seemed like they were just flat. It seemed like they just couldn't respond to what Golden State was doing to them, not getting good shot opportunities, not connected defensively like they normally are. And so, yeah, it was a lackluster kind of a performance, particularly in the fourth quarter.
What if I would have come to you before the pregame show and said, hey, by the way, Allie, Steph Curry's only going to go 3 for 12.
I would have stopped you right there.
Steph Curry's going to only go 3 for 12 from 3. The Lakers will lead by 19 in the first quarter, but they're going to lose the game.
I think that's what's so
crazy?
kind of, yeah.
And the bench will play great.
Yeah, crazy. I think that's probably what's so mind-boggling, because after starting out the way they did and were able to manage that 19-point lead in the first, you would have thought things were going towards the Lakers' way for the night. But I think what you also learn is what we've continued to preach. It's what they know inside that locker room, is that they are the defending champs. And every single night, you are going to get your opponent's best shot. And also with that comes players who may outplay themselves. I mean, Kelly Oubre is averaging 11 points this season. We're talking about how he can't even throw it into the ocean. And he has 23.
23.
His season high. Pascal off the bench. Ties his season high with 19. I mean, guys are just playing out of their minds.
So Andrew Miller, our graphics producer, he's a Bay Area guy. He's a huge Warrior fan. We told him to build a fourth quarter collapse full screen, and he did. And I think he did it with a smile on his face, because it was a collapse, colossal collapse. The Warriors outscored the Lakers 34-21. Field goals were 14 of 23, 6 of 19. Lakers an embarrassing 1 for 9 from 3. But here's some other ones, James. They were up 9 with 5 minutes left in this game. They didn't score for over 4 minutes after that. They had 4 turnovers in the final few minutes. Warriors went on an 11-0 run. I mean, pick what...
Get the defense going, layups, the bench players for Golden State out-hustled. There's things that we normally don't see, we saw in the fourth quarter in particular.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Warriors team, minus Klay, as we mentioned. Draymond's getting back, Steph's getting back. It's a young team. They outscored the Lakers 67-49. Here's the thing, Allie. The Lakers are not going to be perfect. Right. I know we want them to be every single night, but the Warriors played harder tonight.
Yeah.
67-49 in the second half.
Coming in, Steve Kerr made the point that they're just not in sync right now offensively. I think they turned the corner a bit tonight, because I think at the end of the day, you mentioned how different the Warriors are to what we're so accustomed to seeing. But their system, their style of play, and who they are going to be and want to be about, because you still have that guy, that dominant force in Steph Curry running the show, they're still going to pass the ball. They're going to move that basketball offensively, and they're going to get after it on the defensive end of the floor. And when you put that all together and you continue to stick with that, good things will happen. And tonight, that's what happened for the Warriors.
Yeah, and Frank said it. He said it early in this game when he said it to the team and when he was interviewed. Like, you can't let this team hang around because of that guy. And sure, Steph was 2 for 11 at the time, but he hits the big 3 with a minute left to put them up 5. Kelly Oubre, they had an interesting conversation about him. Reggie was saying, listen, he, social media, fans around the NBA, he was supposed to be that guy to kind of fill the role when Klay tore his Achilles, and he has really had an up and down rough season. Well, tonight he came to play. 23 points, 9 of 18, James.
Well, a guy who's been cold and hadn't been going his way, you always have to be aware of him. And, Allie mentioned it early, too. They are the defending champions. They're going to get this every night.
Yeah.
Even from the worst teams in the league, they're going to come out and play hard. So that's another dimension that the Lakers have to get used to. They didn't have that last year. They weren't defending champions. This year they are. every night's going to be a big night. And they had an opportunity to win this game. They just didn't close it out.
Surprised us tonight, James, though. MLK Day in the NBA. It's a big day. It's a national game. It's only on TNT. You're right after an unbelievable Brooklyn game with Harden and KD in Milwaukee, and they built up a 19-point lead coming off of, 5 straight wins? They looked so good, and then it just kind of, they took their foot off the gas, Allie.
Yeah, and when you do it against a team, as we've been talking about, who can really light it up, and once you knock down 1 and 2, it becomes contagious. It's tough. It's tough to just flip the switch against every team, as Geeter mentioned, but especially you don't want to do it even if the Warriors are average right now. You don't want to do it against a team like them because they're too capable. And when they put you on your heels and then the shots aren't falling, the one thing when you look at the Lakers coming into tonight in that 5-game winning streak, the ball was moving on the offensive end of the floor, 26 assists on average, and tonight just 23. Shots weren't falling. And you know what happens when shots aren't falling? It becomes tougher on the defensive end, and it makes you need to dig in even more so deeper, and you're doing it against a team that has caught fire.
Yeah, and the Lakers got such poor shots down the stretch. We were saying those final 3 minutes, long twos, nothing in sync, no actions. And what's interesting, we're going to show you guys right here, they're still in this game.
Right.
Schroeder misses that free throw, makes the second one. They're down 2. Steph misses that layup. The Lakers get the ball with 12 seconds. The indecision.
Or whatever it's been since George Floyd's death. A lot to our league and our players, and it's a great source of pride for us to be the marquee game on Martin Luther King Day.
Frank, you've had so little time to practice, even shoot-arounds and such. Did having a weekend, quote-unquote, off, I know you did some practice, did that allow you to focus on anything from the first part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we really just we used a couple of days to get caught up on rest. We've had some off days, and yesterday's practice was really centered around the details that go into trying to slow down a guy like Steph Curry, and just get that game plan further along. Obviously, there's still a lot to implement throughout the course of this season, and we'll continue to look for times to grow our offensive system and defensive schemes.
Frank, I know you can only play the games that are on the schedule, but how have you felt about your strength of schedule so far? And are you curious, even though you guys have been playing really well, are you curious to see how it could translate against some of these tougher teams coming up on the schedule?
I mean, all these games are just a test of your habits. Whether you're playing against a great team or a team that's playing really well, or a team with a poor record, it doesn't matter. You're trying to play to a standard and win as many games as you can. We've been opportunistic with being able to play the Grizzlies without John Morant and the Spurs without LaMarcus Aldridge. In those early road trips. But again, we try not to focus on the strength of our opponent. They're still going to have 5 guys on the floor, and we got to execute at a high enough level to win. So, just focusing on us.
All right, there's Frank Vogel. So curious to see what he said about Steph Curry there. Are they going to treat him like they treated Harden and Dame in the playoffs last year and really aggressively trap? Or is it going to be kind of a hybrid of that since it's still early in the regular season? We'll see, and it'll tell the tale of the game tonight.
All right, appreciate that, Mike. Good work. We'll talk to you later. All right, the development of Kyle Kuzma is always a hot topic in Lakerland, and during the Lakers' current win streak, Kuz is playing the consistent brand of ball that the purple and gold need from him for this team. Take a look at the numbers in Friday's win over the Pelicans. 11 points in 22 minutes, but look at the 11 rebounds, 3 of 4 from three-point land. Efficiency. Following Sunday's practice, Kuz spoke about his added attention to rebounding this season.
Just real focus this season on, just doing what I got to do to, impact the game for this team. And, for me, just playing with energy and, just trying to create extra possessions for this team and, really just trying to, win ball games. I think that's the most important thing. With me being playing more on the wing now, playing the 2, playing the 3, not too many guards or wings or anybody in this league really that boxes out. So just taking it personal and just trying to help the ball club out.
All right, he's averaging a double-double over his last 3 games, Kyle Kuzma. And I know for fans, a lot of times it's about his scoring and the consistency on the offensive end and the shooting, but he's added rebounding to his game. He's also been solid on defense. A lot of blocks coming over from the weak side. He seems comfortable in this role, James, and that's what the team needs.
And it's the beauty when a young player recognizes what it takes to create longevity. And that's what he's at the beginning of doing right now. He's 24, 25. So he's going to peak in a year or two. You know, maybe LeBron may be gone. I don't know. Whenever that happens. And at about 28, 29, he could be dangerous because now he's picking up all aspects of the game and he's understanding that. He won a championship, and I always say when you win a championship, you don't win a championship without learning how to, how to prepare, how to stay disciplined in the off season. Being around LeBron James, I'm sure he's saying, man, I'm glad I didn't get traded. Although Ingram and all those guys, they got their limelight and they got, money early. He's in a perfect place right now. I just love what he's doing. On the defensive end, he's amazing, and getting extra possessions and rebounds, it's what he needs to be doing. We know he can score.
Yeah, and Ali, for me, I just feel like every game I'm watching and I'm happy for Kuz because I feel like he's making great decisions. That's what's sticking out, whether it's the extra pass or the help on defense. And that to me shows maturity. But then I look at his numbers and I'm like, hey, he's efficient. 40% from 3 right now. I know it's early.
By the way, that is real. You do say that. You don't just tweet about it. You say it.
I say it. I'm like, extra pass. Like he wouldn't have done that 2 years ago.
But I think what it is what we've been talking about a lot, really since the start of the bubble. His teammates have said it as well. The game is just slowing down for him. And you know, as a former player, that when the game becomes so slow for you, you're able to focus in and dial in on various ways in which you can actually impact and help a team win. And I think for him, he realized that jump and that leap had to come on the defensive end of the floor, doing the hustle plays, winning the hustle plays in terms of rebounding, creating extra possessions and energy. And then players are going to want to reward you. They're going to want to give you the basketball. And his confidence is already there to then step up, knock down the shots. The efficiency has been something fun to watch.
And a lot of that comes from, remember, he was hurt starting last year, supposed to be the 3rd member of this big 3. And that's not how this team was built. He's watching friends and peers around the league play on bad teams but score 25 a game. Guys get paid. He had to go through some growth there, right?
No question. And that's hard for a young player to do when you know you have talent. Remember, he came in here like busting out of the gates.
Everyone loved him, right?
Bunch of young players around him, no veterans.
All rookie team.
Then all of a sudden, I have to learn how to play with real men, who've been there 8, 9, 10s and have won championships. That's hard to do. And go through injury. Everybody talking about third wheel. Even he's going to be the 3rd guy. Once he